I'll get the car ready.
No, it's too late. I'm going to give birth here. Get the towel. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is all your fault. Oh, it's good. It's good. Get ready. Oh my God, what is it? What is it?
Congratulations. It's a GH5.
Oh my God. Hey guys, welcome to our review of the GH5. As you can see by our bizarre start, we got quite excited about this camera because you know, it's quite a low budget camera for what it can do, which appeals to us low budget filmmakers. And so yeah, so we thought we'd take it out, give it a go, see how well it was, and see if it's as good as we were hoping it and heard about us. So yeah, Adam, specs.
Yeah, I mean, just to start off, what excited us was just how much you were getting for the money, really. For £1,700 you get so many features that are packed into it, kind of rivaling what an FS7 does for like a £7,000 kind of camera. So you just get so much for the money. So we were really excited to play around with like slow motion, 4K, and also getting scopes on the camera is exciting as well. So yeah, we were excited just to play around, having had the GH3 as well. That's got us lots of great results in the past, so we were just excited to see what these extra features would enable us to do.
Yeah, and also you got the 10-bit. Was it 422?
422.
Yeah, so it grades really nice, for a DSLR, and yeah, as you can saw at the start, our little cinematic shots, you could see how nice it was to grade and stuff. If you look at, for instance, the first shot with the water going nicely over the stone, that was really nice to grade. You can see it's just that was the 4K. It was just lovely and smooth. We did it like 1/50th of a second to match the 25 frame per second frame rate, and you can see it just looks gorgeous. And that's pretty good for a DSLR. I mean, what is the sensor size? What would you call it again?
Micro Four Thirds.
Yeah, Micro Four Thirds. So it's not a massive sensor, but it's pretty good. I mean, in low light, it's not amazing, but it's a bit better than its predecessor, the GH4. We found around iOS 800 or was it 16 1600?
1600.
Yeah, it's really good in 800 low light, and you can push it to 1600, maybe a little bit more, but it starts to get a bit messy then. We haven't tried grading that and denoising it and stuff, but it's not bad, but obviously it's not going to be as good as the Sony's, but the low light, it's all right. But obviously, because we do a lot of films and stuff, we generally light everything ourselves, so the low light capabilities aren't like a major thing, but we're quite impressed with it for how small its sensor is and that. Yeah, and the what do you call it, the stabilization inside it, that is great. Like a lot of the stuff we filmed was just handheld, just because it was so good at stabilizing, and it's great because it's in camera, so you put any lens that can fit onto it, and you've got that stabilization. It doesn't need to be in the lens, so that's fantastic, and it actually works very well. We've been very impressed with that.
Yeah, it's not obviously as good as like putting it on a Ronin or a Movi or anything like that, but it just takes out the jolts kind of thing. It'll take out just little jolts that you do, so it makes it just possible to be able to film.
Good for run and gunning, like when you don't have time to set up your tripod or any kind of stabilization, and you need to get that shot. You can get it pretty reasonably well, and then if you need, add a bit of warp stabilization, but generally it does work very well.
And like combining that with some of Panasonic's lenses as well to get even more stabilization. If you've got the lens stabilization as well, then that will help massively. We haven't tested that out, but just the actual sensor stabilization in itself is really good. Another feature actually on the video side of things, but it also works on photography, is that when you're on manual focus, the focus is really nice. How you can tell what's in focus, because there's options where you can get it to zoom in whilst you're focusing to see what you're focusing on, and it's also got focus peaking as well. So with a combination of these two things, it really allows you to see what you're focusing on really nicely.
Yeah, because obviously with the small LDC, or they call it LCD screens, it can be quite difficult because it can look in focus, but then when you get it on the screen, it's like oh it's not actually in focus. So yeah, that helps a lot, and the actual screen on the back is actually quite high pixeled, so even on the screen it's a little bit better even without those to tell if it's in focus or not.
Yeah, and the same features also work on the viewfinder as well.
Yeah, the slow motion, was it 180 frames per second, just gorgeous, smooth, like slow-mo. We never had a camera that does that, so we were really excited about that, and yeah, it was incredible. Photo!
So I've been testing the photos a bit on this camera as well, and they seem to be working really nicely. They grade really nicely as well.
The RAWs do anyway. Yeah. They were quite good.
And that's like quickly been updated on camera or on Lightroom, so that's like kind of quick to be able to play around with That was like within the first week of it being released. And yeah, there's loads of detail in the whites. You can nearly overexpose something and pull it back really drastically, which is massive for a camera that's got the price tag of the GH5. So that's a really great feature. The colours are really nice out of it to start off with. They take a bit of grading, but it generally looks really nice.
Yeah, we got a nice photo of me sitting down on the bench with my my old style Ilford film camera, which you can see now. Yeah, there you go.
I think the detail in that image is really nice as well. It seems to capture a lot of detail.
We haven't tried the 6K photos though yet, have we?
No.
But it does 6K photos.
And it does them fast as well. I think that's the point of that mode, that it does 30 frames per second in 6K.
There you go. One of the things that we completely forgot about is the fact we need faster SD cards now. And I think that's the only thing that annoys me, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? When you start to get cameras that can do a lot more, you need those speeds. So
yeah,
we were paying 20-30 quid for SD card, and now we'll be looking at like 60 to 100 pounds. So that's quite a big steep like rise, but I still think it's worth it for, you know, for the quality you can get. And I can see over time they're going to start dropping and being probably, hopefully, staying around the 60 to 40 pound mark then. But that's going to take probably a year or two before that happens. Right, so overall then, we really like this camera. We think it's fantastic for its price. I mean, it takes great photos, the RAWs are nice and that, but overall it's you know, it's designed for filming, and even though it's a DSLR, it's designed for filming, and it, you know, does it quite well, and you know, we can't wait to keep using it more and more.
Yeah, I think it's a great purchase for anyone wanting to up their game from like the kind of sub £1,000 budget camera, or even if you've got a bit more money but you still want all of those features packed into one, and then if you're doing multicam stuff, you can probably afford 2 or 3 of them for the price of like a FS7 or something like that. So that's a great option as well, to get all that features.
Spend your money on lights, buy this and then get a nice set of lights, because lighting your scene is always what makes you look really, really good.
Yeah, and also lenses as well. There's just so much benefit to buying a cheaper camera and spending all your money on everything else. You need a solid tripod as well, good sound equipment, and you just can't afford that if you blow like loads of money on a big camera. It's just so much more beneficial to spend all that on the rest of the stuff. And now that Panasonic have packed all those features into a camera that's £1,700, it's a no-brainer really. You can still afford all that other stuff if you buy this kind of cheaper camera.
And now here's a few little clips of that cinematic footage that you saw at the start, only before and after graded.